My little shop was barely getting any customers. That day, a strange woman walked in. She didn't buy anything. She just trembled as she pointed at the hiring sign. When I learned she was already in her 70s, I deliberately lowered the pay, hoping she'd give up. But she said she was fine with half the salary. With no other choice, I gave her a dorayaki and asked her to leave. A few days later, she came back again. She handed me a handwritten business card. She said the red bean filling in my dorayaki could be better. She gave me a box of red bean paste she made herself. One bite was enough to completely win me over. At the time, I had no idea this old woman would change the rest of my life. My name is Carl. I'm in my 40s and single. I once went to prison for 5 years for aggravated assault. After getting out, I worked at this small shop to pay off my debts. When summer came, the old woman appeared again. Before she could say anything, I offered her the job. She accepted happily. While filling out the employment form, I noticed her hands were badly deformed. I guessed she'd suffered from a serious illness, but I didn't ask. I told her we usually used pre-made red bean paste. She looked at me seriously and said red bean paste was the soul of dorayaki and had to be made by hand. Before dawn the next day, we were already at the shop. I soaked the red beans in advance. She carefully checked them again. She said you have to treat the beans gently for them to release their best flavor. After boiling them for a long time, she bent down and listened closely to the pot. Only when the bean skins gently split open did she lift the lid. I thought we could just simmer them slowly after that, but she began rinsing them carefully with clean water. After step upon step, the glossy red bean paste was finally finished. Its color looked like a sweet treasure, making you want to taste it immediately. When business hours started, the old woman's work was done. She didn't see the customers' amazed expressions, but when I told her about them, she smiled from ear to ear. One day I opened the shutters early. A crowd of customers was already waiting outside. I hurried to start the day. The old woman didn't leave after her shift. She silently stayed behind me and helped. A few nights later, the shop owner suddenly showed up. She asked about the old woman, suspecting she was a leprosy patient. After seeing the address on the employment form, she said it made sense. It used to be a place where leprosy patients were isolated. She wiped everything with disinfectant in disgust and ordered me to fire the old woman immediately. Then she turned and left without looking back. Early the next morning, I was woken by the old woman's call. She said she wasn't feeling well and suggested closing the shop for the day, but without knowing the truth, she still insisted on coming to prepare the red bean paste. After finishing every step, she wanted to open the window for some fresh air. That's when she saw several customers waiting outside. So that day, she made every single dorayaki by herself. When I arrived late the next day, she was already preparing red bean paste again. After learning she had run the shop alone the day before, I temporarily forgot the owner's order. But our biggest challenge was still ahead. The news that she was a former leprosy patient spread. Fewer and fewer customers came to the shop. Even though she had recovered, society still couldn't truly accept her. Watching her busy alone in the shop, my heart was filled with guilt and reluctance to let her go.
The old woman's arrival was like a ray of sunlight, brightening the tiny dorayaki shop. Little by little, it also melted the ice in my heart. But when faced with reality and profit, I ultimately betrayed that warmth. Later, I received a letter from her. In the letter, she wrote that when she cooks red beans, she listens to them whisper. She imagines them in the soil, struggling to absorb the nutrients of life. She imagines every rainy day and sunny day they went through, and wonders which wind carried them here. She said she always listens carefully to their journey, because she believes everything in this world can speak. She said I had to hear these words, hoping that one day I could also make dorayaki that can express itself. Not long after, the female student brought her pet canary. After learning the old woman was a leprosy patient, she showed no fear at all, and even took me to visit her at the sanatorium. By then, the old woman was like a candle flickering in the wind. Her breathing was weak and labored. As we talked, I learned she had been making red bean paste for more than 60 years. As a child, she was unfortunate enough to contract leprosy. Her older brother brought her to this city and sent her to this sanatorium. From that moment on, she lost contact with her family forever. She always remembered the red bean rice her mother used to make, so she spent her entire life searching for her mother's flavor, and through that journey she gradually learned to let go of everything. At lunch, she made another special batch of red bean paste. It wasn't sweet, but savory. I knew in my heart it was made especially for me. As I ate, my throat tightened with emotion. The old woman softly said that good food should be eaten with a smile. Later, the female student and I studied that savory red bean paste together. Suddenly, the shop owner showed up with her nephew. She wanted him to work at the shop and planned to renovate it. She wanted to turn it into a snack shop that sold both dorayaki and okonomiyaki. I had finally found something I truly wanted to do, yet I had no power to change the shop's direction. During the renovation, I stayed far away, feeling constantly depressed. When the female student noticed, she took me to the sanatorium again, but the old woman had already passed away quietly, following her final wishes. The other patients gave me the handmade red bean paste tools she left behind, along with a tape recorder. Inside was a message the old woman recorded for us. In the blink of an eye, spring arrived again the next year. I couldn't change the fate of the shop's transformation, but I could choose the direction of my own life. And at last, I made dorayaki that could truly express my own voice.